Hi Radhika, hi Priyanshi. A very warm welcome to the second session of this employability podcast. We have taken this initiative to help the young professionals, the student community who are looking forward to their first internship, first job, and we will try to help them. Actually, you are going to help them by sharing your experiences and your journey. Uh, Again, formally, I would like to wish you a lot of congrats for getting into Dentons Link Legal. Quickly, Priyanshi, we can start with you. You can just give a brief introduction about yourself, followed by you, Radhika, so that the audience get to know about you.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much for having us. Hi, I'm Priyanshi Singh. I'm from Kota, Rajasthan. And basically, I did my law journey from UPS, specializing in energy law. And recently, I have been selected for a trainee associate position at Dentons Link Legal.
Hi, sir. I am Radhika Jawar, and I'm very excited to be on this podcast. I'm from Jaipur, Rajasthan, and I had chosen corporate law as my specialization, and I recently got placed at Dentons Link Legal as well. And I'm here to share about a bit about my law school journey and to help anyone who is seeking to land a good placement in the legal industry.
Right. Thank you so much for this introduction. So, before we deep dive into the technical questions that were asked, how did you prepare? I really want to know that what were those emotions and feelings that you felt when the result was out. So, first, we'll start from this. So, when you saw that email that you are selected for this particular place, what were those first feelings when you saw that email?
Uh, should I go first?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so honestly, when I got the call regarding the placement, I couldn't process right away. I was still on the phone and my brain couldn't register what just happened. As soon as I hung up, it hit me. And the first reaction was I ran upstairs to my sister, who is in the same year and same law school as me. I knew she would understand the significance of this. So I hugged her tightly and I started crying. So for a moment, she panicked and she thought I did not get it. I did not get the placement, and she started consoling me. Then I was like, no, I got the placement, and she was like, why are you crying? You scared me. So that was the whole reaction.
I guess it can be a memory for life, the way you have
Yeah,
told it.
yes, indeed.
Radhika,
Uh,
can you tell your story
Definitely,
as
sir.
well?
So I was actually watching a movie when I saw the call come in, and I just like my heart was racing that time because I just got this feeling that it could be the call that I could get in,
Right.
I could not get in. So I
Hmm.
literally just rushed out of the theater, and before like picking up the call, like my heart was really racing. And when I heard those words that we are extending you an offer, as Priyanshi said, like I also needed a moment to take it in, like to absorb everything. And there was a rush of emotions, and like I could feel everything, like the disbelief and relief at the same time, and the excitement, and most importantly, the gratitude I had because all those late nights and all those rejections which I faced before this, I think it's just come full circle now. So I just had those feelings at that time, and as Priyanshi said, I literally just and I was very lucky to tell this to my parents in person to see their reactions. And they were really happy. And they also like sighed a relief that, you're finally placed and I'm not stressed anymore. So that
Yes.
definitely was a giveaway.
And I'm sure that then you have lost all the interest in the movie you were seeing
Definitely.
because you
Definitely.
I
had
was,
a bigger
yeah,
reason to
I was
celebrate.
genuinely just trying to rush back home because I just wanted to tell someone. So I lost it halfway. This I just wanted to call my mom and dad and tell them that I got in.
So very big takeaway for me, and most probably the viewers will also have this takeaway that the journey was worth it.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Moving forward, can any one of you can just quickly tell about this firm, in which all cities it is operating, the scale of operations, and uh, what is it for a law student to enter into Dentons? Just briefly, if you can tell.
Priyanshi, should you go ahead or should I go ahead?
You can go.
Sure. So Dentons Link Legal is a pan-India firm and they operate in every area. So for a person, a law student who is freshly out of college and they want to like enter into a specific area, Dentons offers that. And the most important thing about Dentons is that it is the first Indian law firm to have a combination with an overseas firm, Dentons. So it is growing at a very rapid pace while offering an environment which is conducive for learning. And I believe in the initial years of law, your when you start a career, it is very important to get that stability and that mentorship. And I really believe that Denton's Link Legal provides that.
Yes, I hope you have a really enriching journey in the days to come, in the months to come, and years to come. Let's move to the internship. I would like to hear both of you that how had been the internship journey and what was the role of the internship in securing this placement. And have you done an internship as well earlier? What did you learn at the same place as well as the other internships? I know you have done a couple of internship. You can share the top two or the top three ones. And if I'm an intern who is going for the first internship, what are the things that I should keep in my mind so that I learn the most?
So, should I go first?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So I cannot choose top three internships. I believe that all my internships, in each and every of my internships, I've learned something major. So all my internships were instrumental in shaping me for this placement. These internships built me from scratch and helped me to grow into someone who can be considered as a competent candidate. They gave me a real sense of how firms function and, most importantly, how I should operate in firms. I learned what to say, what not to say, how to communicate my ideas effectively, how to prioritize tasks, or how to carry myself professionally even when there is high pressure situation. The first and foremost thing I would like the people to know when they are starting their first internship is I genuinely believe that internships are as impactful as you make them. You have to be proactive, you have to take initiative and absorb as much as you can. Because landing an internship is not enough. You have to take the only thing you are getting from an internship is learning and knowledge. There are times when stipend is not provided in internships. So the only thing you can get is learning and knowledge, and you should make the most out of it.
So you mentioned that you need to absorb a lot.
Yeah,
And I can also recall that analogy that a student should be like a sponge.
true.
Whether you enter into a school, college, or your internship, or even your first job. So
Hmm.
just as a sponge, you should absorb from your environment. You should learn from everyone as far as possible. So that is one
That
of
is
the takeaway.
yes.
Radhika, would you like to add something to this? And this can
Definitely.
be a free flow discussion. You can interact amongst yourself also. You can put a question amongst yourself also.
Okay.
Sir, like as Priyanshi said, that I also cannot choose like top three internships because I
Hmm.
believe every internship has helped me to become a better person, a better version of myself only. Starting from the first year, when I look back, I could not even imagine like I was this person like today what I am and 5 years ago like from what I started from not even like knowing basics of contracts or torts to now like actually starting a career in that particular field. So I believe that every internship helps you shape in that way. And as Priyanshi said that you have to be proactive. And I really believe because people in law firms are generally very busy. They don't have the time to come and give you work.
Hmm.
You have to ask, you have to literally badger them that please give us work, and you have to take consistent feedbacks. Because if you are not taking feedbacks, you don't know where you are going wrong. And one more thing, like I really feel that most law students, like in the initial years of law, they feel very intimidated by a high-setting corporate law firm. And I understand that because even I started from that place. But I really, I really want to put it out there that no matter if even if you're feeling intimidating, you don't have to shy away because genuinely they are not expecting anything from you. Even if you give them really bad work, they'll give you they'll provide you feedback only, but you have to make that consistent effort to grow and
Yes.
get yourself better each day.
So I can
So,
put it like this that as an intern, you don't have anything to lose. So please don't
Definitely.
hesitate and show up at the office every day. take as much as initiative as possible. Do not fear.
Yeah. No, what the trend I have noticed in this internship culture is everyone is following the herd. They are trying to land an internship, but at the same time, when they have landed an internship at a very big firm, they won't do anything about it. They'll just sit idly and they'll be like, we are not getting anything out of it. They are not providing a stipend, then why should we work? I have encountered such fellow interns, and my take from that was you are putting in your energy, you are putting in your time and evenly money if you're coming from a different place. Then the only thing you can do is learn and take knowledge out of it. But yes, so I think that internships should be taken like that. No, you should not consider stipend as much, but what you can take from it, the knowledge and learning experience is a must.
That is, I believe, that is the most fundamental thing about internships.
Yeah, true.
Right. So we both of you mentioned about this stipend part, and I'm glad you have acknowledged it, because even if you will get a stipend, it cannot compensate your effort of 8 to 10 hours. So your intent as an intern should be to learn. If you will
Yeah.
compare that, I am not getting anything, so I will not work. That is
Hmm.
not a right approach to visit any office, whether it
Yeah.
is Dentons or any other office. And
Definitely.
I think as a student, as an intern, I need to also respect that the person is guiding me free of charge.
I'm sorry.
Why can't, if someone is guiding me, if someone is mentoring me,
Hmm.
and not charging a fee from me, isn't that a benefit?
Yeah, true.
See, we pay a lot of fees to the institutes, to the university where we pursue our degree. So they charge a fee because they are mentoring us.
Yes.
And now an
Definitely.
industry professional is mentoring you with a limited time span. Maybe he's giving you just 5 minutes a day,
Hmm.
but getting 5 minutes a day from a advocate of high repute, it's a big benefit. I think the intern is a beneficiary even without a stipend
Definitely, sir.
in this
Completely
entire
agree.
analogy.
Yeah.
Uh, just quickly, if you can tell me about the elective subject, your specialization, and then is it in harmony to the profile which you are stepping into now?
So my specialization was energy law. Now under energy law comes many different kind of areas. So there's electricity law, there's oil and gas, there is atomic energy, nuclear energy. But however, at Dentons, I am not stepping into the energy law part. I'm not. I have interned in many electricity regulatory firms, but with Dentons, I am not actually will be dealing with electricity. It will be around dispute resolution.
And
So,
same for you, Radhika?
no,
Is
sir.
it the
So I
same?
chose
No?
corporate laws as my specialization in college, and I'm very happy that I got to step into that particular field only, and more to into mergers and acquisitions, which I genuinely believe I manifested it, and I've been just consistently thinking about it like since the starting of my third year that I really want to go into this field because this is going to sound very stupid maybe, but like when I read company law for the first time, I just felt that this is for me. Like I really belong here and I really will thrive here. And I could see like myself excelling in corporate law internships. So I feel that I'm very fortunate enough to start my career in that field.
Glad to hear that. And uh, Priyanshi, you mentioned that your specialization is energy law, but now you are switching to a different profile. It is again a learning for a lot of young advocates that when you are fresh into the market, do not be very rigid. It's completely fine that I have done my specialization in constitution and I'm getting a good opportunity in IPR. I am open to learning. It's a matter of 1 or 2 months, I will pick up the things.
Yeah.
What matters the most is my work ethic, the behavior that I display at work, my ability to learn and thrive rather than a specialization that I chose.
Hmm. So
And
I believe
law
that.
is,
So yeah.
yes,
So
please
in
continue.
addition to
Please,
what you
please.
said, I believe that law is a subject, is an area where learning never really ends. So you can you either you have done specialization in some other field, doesn't matter. You can easily get the hold of other field once you put your heart and mind to it.
So you need to train yourself to learn, to become a better learner. And
Yes.
then it doesn't matter whether it is energy law, it is some kind of dispute resolution, or it is M&A, or it is IPR.
Yeah.
So
So,
5 years at law school should be based upon learning the art of interpretation, advocacy skills, opening up, having a habit of briefing long cases,
Hmm.
making those facts an event sheet to make the work of my superiors easy. We can put it like this. Now, if I talk about the hard skills, it would be all the laws that you have studied during your 5 years. And earlier also you mentioned about contract law. So can you just mention some of the topics that as an intern I should prepare, irrespective whether I'm giving an interview in a corporate law firm, a IPR firm. One is contract act. Irrespective of what I do in the legal domain, I should know the basics should be very clear. So can you just name three, four topics that come to your mind that irrespective of the field, I'm repeating it, an intern should prepare before sitting in an interview.
So basically, the fundamental subjects which every law student should know, regardless of their specialization, is to name them first of all CPC, and then
Right.
contract and constitution. Now, I have noticed through the interviews that I've given, most of the questions were asked from this field only. Regardless of what the practice area they were looking for, they will ask questions from this field because, rightly so, because they form the backbone of every practice area. So the firm believes and the firm wants that one should have confidence and clarity on these basic subjects. So these are the three subjects I believe one should know properly.
Radhika, would you like to add any topic or subject to this list?
definitely so I really believe that one should really excel in knowing the basics of contract law and Companies Act. And basics, so why am I saying this is because legal profession is genuinely based on written documents, which is ultimately a contract or an agreement. So if you are not even aware about what is exactly a difference between a contract and an agreement,
Agree.
then you can't genuinely expect them to hire you. And these are like there are some basic topics. For example, what is the difference between representation and warranties? What is the difference between guarantee and indemnity? Which I think
Yeah.
every law student must know, because these are clauses which are boilerplate clauses and they are included in every single contract. And you should at least, because whenever you are going to step into the field, the person who are you're going to report to, they will be expecting you to draft these basic clauses. And if you're not even aware about the basic differences of these, then it's going to be a problem in the long time.
Right. So keep the basics intact. Sometimes there are students, I have also witnessed that if they are having a interview lined up in a
Hmm.
corporate law firm, they will just study company law and then the panel or the person who is taking their interview will ask them the difference between void and voidable contract.
Mhm.
And then they think like ये तो तैयार ही नहीं किया, ये तो पढ़ा ही नहीं था. And then impromptu in that very moment it becomes very difficult to explain even the very basics.
And it generally gives a very bad impression when you, as you mentioned, that if you don't even know the difference between a void and a voidable contract, then it actually gives a very bad impression to the interviewer, because they'll not think that you are consistent enough, because you can't just say that, we have studied this in our first year, so we don't remember. Law is a profession you have to actually constantly read and be aware about certain things.
Yeah.
So I
I
really believe.
I had to learn that the hard way. So in my first interview, I researched about the company that was coming. I read on whatever the practice area they wanted to, but yes, the basics I did not polish on it. And yes, they asked me regarding CPC contract. When they asked me around this, I was taken back. I did answer, but they could see that yes, the expressions were quite evident that she did not know. She was not expecting these questions. So yeah, one should know these basics.
Because I
Priyanshu
really.
mentioned about the expressions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, someone who would be taking the interview would be holding a lot of experience,
Hmm.
and you cannot bluff, and you should not bluff. So uh, advice for anyone is viewing it that please prepare well, and that will make sure that your expressions look confident in an interview. To look confident in an interview, you actually need to prepare. And Radhika, you mentioned about some degree of stress. Uh,
Sorry.
you mentioned about some degree of stress that is there in that particular interview situation.
Yes, sir.
So how can, if suppose I have to give an interview in a law firm, what can I do to reduce my stress, or what did you do to tackle this stress?
So firstly, I really believe that one should keep this in mind that you cannot know everything, and you are actually going to get questions which you will not be able to answer. And that's completely all right, because the interviews do not expect that you know everything. So they are genuinely they are trying to assess you on like how in the way you answer, how you tackle the situation, how you remain calm under pressure. So if you don't know, as you mentioned, that you should not bluff, you should honestly state that you are not aware about it, you will read upon it and come back later. But this situation generally comes when you're not aware about a question which was you, like they were not expecting you to know. But as you mentioned, the basics, if you don't know that, then you can't just say that we are not aware about it. Then it actually can get backfire. But the stress, I really believe that one should keep this in mind, that it's completely okay that if you don't know certain things, you don't need to answer like 30 out of 30 questions in the interview. It's not going to work like that. Even if you don't answer like 5 to 6 questions, that's still okay. And that's not going to give a bad impression of yours.
What I've noticed
Keep
is,
your basics clear and use the logic in the interview. Then you can use the logic to give some rational answer, and you can say that you are just making a guess. You are not completely aware about this.
yeah.
You were saying something, Priyanshi, please.
Yes, so this is exactly what I've noticed. I've noticed that when an interview is being taken, there's partner and then there's HR. So if a partner has posed a question on me, which the partner too believes, that maybe this person does not know the answer to. They just want to know that how will we approach this question. And if I start blabbering anything, the HR starts taking notes. I've noticed that. So if you keep your calm and you say that I apologize, I do not know the answer for this, I'll read on it, they will reflect on this and they'll be like, okay, yeah, that's a good move. But yes, basics obviously one should know.
So the value system is also somewhere tested in the interviews.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There could be someone observing you. Apart from the partner or legal manager who is taking your interview, there could be a HR, there could be some body language expert who is
Yes.
seeing that how do you behave. And as a candidate, I should be comfortable with ambiguity also.
Yeah.
Law or
Definitely.
any subject for that matter is very dynamic. You cannot know everything, and it is evolving every day. Plus, the
Exactly.
practitioner is taking your interview. The
Hmm.
level of knowledge of a student versus the level of knowledge of a legal practitioner, there is going to be some gap in that. I'm actually getting to know some of the really good insights, and was really impressed by this point that you mentioned that HR started taking points, because
Yeah.
the HR are really good observers in these terms. Did you give any mock interviews, or
Yeah.
you gave some interviews to your friends? Can you just brief about that? How did you actually practiced?
So, firstly, I was very reluctant about giving mock interviews. I felt that maybe they are not that useful, and then I felt awkward that why should we give this mock interview? But once I went through it, there was no going back. So, first mock interview I gave to my career service department. With my career service department, I learned a lot. I built my confidence level was very different than when it was before giving the mock interview. Then for each and every interview, the preparation was I would prepare the last step of each and every interview preparation was to give mock interview to my friends. I will tell them everything about what the firm is looking for. I will provide them with my CV and I will tell them with in utmost formal strictness, just ask me as many questions as you can. I consider this as an interview and I would ask them to take my mock interview. This helped me out a lot, build my confidence and took my confidence to next level.
Radhika, did you also give any kind of mock interviews before the actual interview?
Yes, sir. So, like, my interview preparation was a whole process. I also started out with mock interviews, which really helped me how to frame my answers and get to know the areas I really needed to improve upon, and especially how to answer under pressure. Because sometimes that actually gets to you, and you mess up the whole interview just because of that one particular point. And this was actually the mock interview which I gave to my career coach. She literally said this one thing, and I kept this in mind when I was giving Denton's interview. That she said that I was not able to come out of the previous question. If it went bad, I was still stuck to that. I was not able to come out of it, and I made it a point that I don't do it on the day of my final interview. So that definitely was a very big thing, and I would have not known it if I had not given that mock interview. And secondly, I also spoke with my friends and seniors especially, who had also gone through this similar process. And because these feelings are generally very mortifying when you get nervous and everything, and to just normalize yourself, I spoke with everything and to gather their insights of what sort of questions I can expect and how to answer upon things. And the lastly, what I really feel the most important thing was that one should know their CV inside out, because that is where the interviewers will ask, I really believe 70% or to 80% of the questions. So if you don't know your CV and you have just written buzzwords over it, then it's actually going to create a very bad impression, because it's, if you don't even know the two page of CV, then it will give a very bad impression that you have lied on your CV, and this actually questions your integrity.
If someone comes to me for a mock interview, I always say this, that you are presenting your resume.
Mm.
This is the syllabus for your interview. So
True.
know the syllabus very well, as you have mentioned. And it is very embarrassing that something is mentioned on your resume and you are not able to explain it. And
Yeah.
sometimes the student end up saying that this internship was done 2 years ago, but then you are
Mm.
giving explanation for something that won't be accepted. You need to be aware as a human, as an individual, what you have done in last 20 years on this planet. Not just
Yeah.
about last 5 years, 3 years, but last 20 years. What kind of personality have you framed? That is to be depicted in your answers. Was there any point in time where you felt like just quitting any of the internship or thinking of switching the career? Because this does happen initially when you go for your first or second internship, that on the 7th or 10th day of a 1 month, 2 month internship, you are feeling that we are at a wrong place, I need to quit.
So as for me, I actually never thought of quitting any internships, but yes, approaching the goal of getting placed in a law firm. That idea, I got exhausted in that process a lot of time. It is a very overwhelming process. So when the law firm goal was not happening, I started making plans. I started exploring other options just for backup. However, at the back of my mind, I always wanted to land in a law firm. But just in case the plan that I had laid out did not pan out as I expected, I planned some other options, and so that there is a safety net once this does not happen. The law firm did not happen. But for internships, I never actually thought of quitting.
And going back to the last question, because both of you have given some of the mock interviews, I could recall a statement also. You must have also heard this, that those who sweat more during the practice bleed less during the war. If you
Yeah,
actually wish to ace your interview, please give mock interviews to your mentors, to your friends, because interview
Okay.
at the end of the day is just an interaction. You are
true.
going to work with someone, and that someone wants to know what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. Radhika, you wanted to say something, you can please add.
So as for me, it definitely occurred to me that there were times when I wanted to quit law as a whole, and even internships at that times, that because luckily I was genuinely very fortunate that in every internships, except for a few, I got really good mentors and colleagues. But there was this one internship that where I actually faced that toxicity in a workplace, and that was the first internship. So I could actually feel that, when people say that corporate is toxic, I never believed them until I faced that myself. And it was very new to me, and I was not feeling, good that every single day I'm getting scolded for no apparent reason, and they are not happy with my work. And I took it upon myself that, maybe I'm not good enough. And it makes you feel really bad because, like, as for me, I genuinely had a very good grades and decent internships. So even in my final year, when this whole placement process was going on, it became very overwhelming as well as daunting because in my head, I was placed by the end of my fourth year. And when it did not happen, it just like the reality actually, struck that, it's not very butterflies and flowery. It's not, the world does not function like that. And you have to, no matter, keep going on. And that's what I really believe in, that no, you'll obviously feel overwhelming. You'll feel like, you want to give up, but you have to constantly push yourself that, you have to get back and go on. And that's the only way you can ever do that.
I can put it like this, that law is both very challenging profession, at the same time it is very rewarding also. But then you will
Definitely.
have to be consistent and keep moving forward. You can
Definitely.
sum it up like this.
Yeah.
And yes, there is a possibility that you land up at a place that you are working to the best of your abilities, and still you are not being acknowledged for the work you have done. So, and that when the environment is very conducive, then everyone will grow.
Hmm.
Definitely.
When the environment is not that conducive, how do you motivate or encourage yourself to complete that particular tenure, that assignment, before you take a big step of switching or applying at some other place? But you still need to complete the work at hand. So a lot of
Totally.
resilience is required during that time. We had a really heavy discussion based upon the questions, the experience, thought, and feelings of an intern. Let's make it a little light. You are done with your law school. If today you are given an opportunity that there is a billboard hanging and you have to design it, or you can write a message on it which would be read by the seniors, sorry, the juniors who would be visiting the campus on an open day, or the freshers who are going to come, your juniors, what is the message that you will write on that billboard
For
for your
me,
juniors?
okay, so I think it would be cry, compete, caffeinate, repeat. Welcome to the 5 years of complete chaos, but you'll definitely miss it.
Radhika, what's the message that you would write on that billboard for your juniors?
It- like in my head something more intellectual is going on. So it's just that I like what I really want to write on that billboard is that, law school has its ups and downs, but like what I have learned is that you have to be consistent to like gain that growth. And it's not always about being the smartest in the room, but it's always about being the consistent one in the room. So you have to show up and you have to stay curious and you have to trust the process, and it's all, gonna work out well for you.
You
I guess we
mentioned
both are
about
saying the
being the
same
smartest
thing.
in the room. I would like to add that if you are able to be present in the room always, that is also a big achievement, because
Yeah.
attendance again is very challenging for a student to maintain.
Yes.
Definitely.
So forget about being smartest. If you can be very consistent in the classroom, there is a chance that you will learn the most.
For sure.
What did you prefer, going through the bare act or doing the bare minimum efforts? Reading the summaries, the past year question paper if you were able to get it from somewhere, or going through the bare act? What was your approach?
For me, it will depend on the urgency of the matter. If the matter is not urgent, then definitely bare act. I will go through that properly. But if the matter is urgent, then bare minimum.
So
Yeah.
Priyansh, you have already started answering as a legal professional that I'm not going to give a very straight answer to this question. It will depend upon the urgency, the circumstances, the law in force at that particular time. Right, great. So I can say it can be a mix of both. But
Definitely.
if you are really serious about making your career in a particular field, then it is always better to not to take shortcuts.
Yeah,
I
true.
mean,
And obviously, if you have not studied the entire semester and you have an exam next day, then you cannot pick up the Air Act.
Yes, exactly.
Radhika, would you like to add? I saw that you
yeah.
wanted to say something.
Irrespective of that, I really believe one should learn how to actually read a Bear Act. It's not that easy to, understand how a Bear Act, the language, in the Bear
Yes.
Act. So I really feel one should actually get a hang of it, even if you are referring through other sources. But you should know exactly, if you know you are going to read a Bear Act, exactly what the provision will mean. And after 5 years, if you don't know how to read a Bear Act, it's actually going to become a very big problem, because I've seen in law firms, professionals actually use Bear Acts. They do not rely on any other sources, but you have to give them the Bear Act, the provisions from the Bear Act. The shortcut summaries will not help.
So again, a takeaway that do not run away from the bare acts.
Yes.
Definitely.
If your exam is next day and you are not even do whatever least you can pass the exam with understanding of the subject, please go through the bare act, go through the preamble to understand what is the objective, that why this law was actually made. That is most important, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It becomes really embarrassing situation that the interviewer is asking you why was law made and you have no answer to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the burning problem, the society that this law was made,
Hmm.
and you are not able to answer. So I have
Definitely.
seen that student missing on the preambles at times. Just one last question before we conclude for both of you. If you can travel back in time, what is the advice you have to your younger self who was just entering the university? So one advice to your younger self, first year of this 5 year law journey, what advice would you give?
For me, it would be advice. Okay, if I could give an information, I would give that yes, Corona is about to end, the lockdown is about to end. But an advice that I would give is do not underestimate yourself. Take more chance on yourself, because yes, that I have done a lot of time. Radhika?
Yeah. So
And Radhika, what's the
I would just tell my first year self to
advice?
just breathe.
We lost.
And
We lost you. You will have to repeat yourself.
sure, sir. So I would just tell my first year self to breathe and relax, because you don't have to get it all figured out by now, and it's all right if you don't know where you'll end up, and it's okay to make mistakes along the way. And one should focus not just on building CV but also habits, because they'll actually go the long way. So, and as Priyanshi said that you should not never underestimate yourself. You might surprise yourself, and you are better than you think. You underestimate yourself so much that you don't even know your value. So I really believe that, at least right now, that I genuinely used to underestimate myself a lot, and other people who were not in my position, they used to take inspiration from me, and I would be like, what is exactly in my, like, I'm nothing. So as people said that, we always see the grass is greener on the other side. That is not the case. So never
And
underestimate
I
yourself.
I would like to add upon on this analogy of grass,
Hmm.
that we say that grass is greener on the other side, and I feel like that the, that grass would be greener which you water.
Definitely.
If you water your patch daily, your grass is going to be greener.
Yes.
Forget about the other side. Stop looking at the other side. See your patch and water it daily. Provide it with the nutrients it needs, and nourish the grass. It will grow. Right? To summarize the last question that I asked, it's that do not underestimate yourself. There's a lot hidden in you. You have a lot of potency. And yes, we all feel like I should know everything today, what I will do in next 5 years, 10 years. It actually doesn't work like this. It's completely fine if there is some ambiguity, but that doesn't mean that I'm not putting efforts. I need to try a lot of things, and then I have to see that what works for me. Thank you so much, Priyanshi and Radhika, for this particular introduction. I'm sure that it is going to help your juniors or any of the legal aspirant law student who is in the state of ambiguity, how to prepare, who is in a state that he's underestimating or she's underestimating
Hmm.
herself. So I hope this helps, and a lot of good wishes to both of you, and would love to see both of you rising and shining as legal professionals of our country. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for having us. It was really nice to be here.
So thank you actually for having us, and I really feel that I hope the both of us, whatever things we have said, that I really hope that we have helped someone, and whatever we have said, it resonates with someone who is trying to figure it out all out. Because even once we were all doing the same, so
Yeah.
I really hope it helps them.
With that, we'll close this session here,
Yes.
Thank you,
right?
sir.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.